everything you need because I know you mean everything in Christ. And Christ means everything to me.
I called on the Lord. I said, man, Father, this is real. Will you watch over me? Will you raise them up to be strong? I'm just a man with flesh. This is what you call for in your scriptures. You said they wore studs and fringes, they got it on. You said they will follow the Lord, they doing it. You said under your house shine, they ought to love one another, and they doing it.
We're in front of the Israeli School, Universal Practical Knowledge, the Philadelphia Division, here at 3226 Cheltenham Avenue in Philadelphia. We're standing in front of the school right now, getting a description of the 12 tribe sign that's been painted by one of the brothers that was in the school: Judah, Benjamin, Levi, Simeon, Zebulun, Ephraim, Manasseh, Gad, Reuben, Naphtali, Asher, and Issachar. Those are the 12 tribes of Israel.
Shalom. Shalom. You've been waiting for this day, so this day has finally come. A lot of you have been wondering where this knowledge that you've been hearing is coming from, and the powerful truth that you've been hearing, how this was established. Well, we finally were able to arrange for the priests to come down from New York and spend some time with us. And I'd like to introduce them if I can. These are some great brothers. We're very glad to have them with us. We want to make them feel as warm as possible because this is their work and the extension of their work and what they've laid down some time ago. I'd like to introduce, first of all, priest and Sixth Shield General, 4th in command in the nation of Israel, Lahab. I'd like to salute this brother. March up. Barak. Yeshabim, which means sit. And I'm going to turn it over now to Priest General Lahab.
Water, brother. I'd like to say this, starting off, we're very impressed at your school here, and we're very impressed to see that the brothers and sisters in Philadelphia think enough of the Most High and the Bible and the truth and your nationality to be a part of this, because most of the brothers and sisters are running from the truth.
Shalom, Israel. It's time to come get your full dose of truth for the week.
You got Mondays, history class, taught by Officer 500 Shariwan and Officer 500 Ahabawan. 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Tuesday, you got Word to the Unwise podcast from 6 to 7 p.m. Followed by the main event, Captain and Priest Hadaria Allah, teaching scripture breakdown, the Bible like you never heard it before. 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard. Wednesday, we got Priest and Officer 1000 Awaja teaching you all about the law. Tune in. 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thursday, you got myself, Priest and Officer 5000 Kazak Moth, joined by Priest 500 Barack Yah, teaching you the Brotherhood class from 5 to 7 p.m. Friday, learn to speak in the Holy Tongue, the Lashawan Kodash class, taught by Officer of 1000, Qatar. 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Ironic.
You know the truth is the truth, that's all I know. Cry loud and spare not, you gon' get exposed. A few real niggas left, you not one of those. Real soldiers, we was born to stand 10 toes. If he ain't one West, that nigga not one of mine. He got a purple 12, me, I got a black 9. The truth is the wife of my youth, chopping my concubine. Had to die to get my rib, that bitch forever mine. You know the game, a bishop gotta be blameless. But GMS teaching niggas to be rapists. They screaming we snitch. When Joel Morgan was killed by your brother, y'all ain't say shit. Real prophets only dwell in the UPK, PSA, we don't sign NDAs. Real prophets only dwell in the UPK, PSA, we don't sign NDAs.
Hey, 100 deep, 100 shields on, that's 100 priests. 100 boots, that's 200 feet. Tongue like a sword when I fucking speak. Teach you how to fish instead of fucking leech. Stop selling drugs instead of trying to fuck with me. Knowledgeable, but I'm rude in my fucking speech. Life is about warfare, not no fucking peace. Bitch, I cry loud when I fucking speak. Make them wait a year before they fuck with me. Turn a street nigga to a fucking priest. Cross a priest and I promise you forever sleep.
One West, that's who we are, nigga. One West. So who is y'all, nigga? One West. We want it all, nigga. That's who we are, nigga. So who is y'all, nigga? One West. That's who we are, nigga. One West. So who is y'all, niggas? One West. We want it all, nigga. That's who we are, nigga. So who is y'all, niggas?
UPK soldiers got them killers with me. And I don't fuck with every spot cause it's too iffy. Real motherfucking prophet cause the Lord with me. But don't get that shit twisted, I got Drake's with me. Yeah, bitch, and that whole 50. Run up on me wrong, you gon' catch 60. Wait, you gon' catch 20. The other 30 for your homies, bitch, I got plenty. And I'll shoot this motherfucker till that clip empty. Taking orders from your bitch, you a fucking simpy. Shit, should be televised. The way I'm cutting niggas up, bitch, I'm a samurai. Niggas swear they in the truth, but telling hella lies. Stumping like you Greek, bitch, you Hellenized. The revolution gon' be televised. And what I see in my vision gon' leave you petrified.
One West, that's who we are, nigga. One West. So who is y'all, nigga? One West. We want it all, nigga. That's who we are, nigga. So who is y'all, nigga? One West. That's who we are, nigga. One West. So who is y'all, niggas? One West. We want it all, nigga. That's who we are, nigga. So who is y'all, niggas? UPK soldiers lead cowards and awe. So fuck a gas stop, I came with 6 pumps in my car. My niggas ready to swing, we like kids at the park. So touch a chair around this bitch and we breaking your jaw. They think we Christian, but we not. Nothing about us is soft. I don't know what you niggas on, but that shit get you off. We booted up. We came to take zones for real. Black 40 under my garment, I be dressed to kill. Fourth dimension sitting linger, I be fresh for real. Putting scripts on your corners, but these here ain't pills. We rock covers. You official if you know those drills. Bread and water, you official if you know those meals. Yeah, you niggas soldiers get rolled over. You got police in your pocket, I got a judge in my holster. Oppressors out to get us, so remain sober. Or be chained to them chains till there's nothing that remains of us. A cult leader like Christ, we got the same culture. I bang on them, tell my enemies the reign's over. I up the sig and keep pulling like a chain smoker. The game ain't changed, One West stayed the same on them. One West, that's who we are, nigga. One West. So who is y'all, nigga? One West. We want it all, nigga. That's who we are, nigga. So who is y'all, nigga? One West. That's who we are, nigga. One West. So who is y'all, niggas? One West. We want it all, nigga. That's who we are, nigga. So who is y'all, niggas?
Niggas talking prophets, yeah, we got plenty. We the reason why it's Israelites around the city. Call Kazak, tells the rock, bring Shamara. We about to slide on them, see what niggas talking about. Young dog think he wise cause he a Kim head. That shit lame, they didn't survive, nigga, Kim is dead. Where I'm from, little nigga, is a dirty game. I pledge allegiance to Yahweh, bitch, I'm UPK. Nigga, let's talk bodies. Set up on your corner, wake up everybody. big priest until I'm dead deceased. The mission is complete until you're off the street. So y'all on the internet stumping down the street. But take the poor and the weak. Touch a sister or a brother, you gonna be sleep. But take the poor and the weak.
One West, that's who we are, nigga. One West. So who is y'all, nigga? One West. We want it all, nigga. That's who we are, nigga. So who is y'all, nigga? One West. That's who we are, nigga. One West. So who is y'all, niggas? One West. We want it all, nigga. That's who we are, nigga. So who is y'all, nigga?
Fucking with the brothers, then I'm giving out major pain. Clip full of ball heads, I'm shooting out Damon Wayne's. Driven ambition, I ain't never changing lanes. Wise as an old man, but I ain't slanging cane. This ain't a game, this shit way deeper than rap. You speaking the cap, but the shit y'all speaking is cap. I'm 5,000, but I still keep it a stack. I'm in the truth, not cause back then I was seeking the fact. Cry aloud for the niggas that's deep in the back. And the Lord with me, ain't no reason for keeping the strap. We peep the attacks, niggas say we ain't speaking the facts. Stealing breakdowns every time we teaching in class. Niggas snitching, y'all out here squeaking with rats. We be on the street corners teaching that Jesus is black.
We on 125th Street, Harlem, nigga, you see where we at?
One West, that's who we are, nigga. One West. So who is y'all, nigga? One West. We want it all, nigga. That's who we are, nigga. So who is y'all, nigga? One West. That's who we are, nigga. One West. So who is y'all, niggas? One West. We want it all, nigga. That's who we are, nigga.
Yes, sir. No sign in Christ, man. Listen, man, it's first of all, my name is Officer LeBon. I represent the Israelite School of UPK. I'm the commanding General Yohana, man. It's an honor to be here with Habawan, your brother that usually hosts the Monday nights class, the Monday nights history class. In the UPK, man, we what our aim is to go into every Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian community and teach them who they are according to the Bible, or according to the Most High himself. All right. Today is Monday, our history class. And what we generally do today is go throughout the scripture and tie in the things that occurred in the scripture with what's going on in our reality today, you know, in the reality of Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian men. Again, we started in 1969 out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York. And we've been doing this thing, man, for, for the culture, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? Today, I believe the topic is, Habawan?
History of false arrest, sir.
The history of false arrest, which kind of ties into what Commander General Yohana is promoting, in these days right now, which is, if you a brother, like it's a whole host of Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian men out there. They got a conviction 10 years ago, and they sitting in their house and thinking, because of that conviction, that there's no hope for them, because every time they apply for a job, the job is turning them down because of that previous felony conviction. What Commanding General Yohana commissioned me to do under Captain Marquardt is go throughout the United States of America and prove to these brothers, man, that right now on the books, there are laws, man, that make you eligible for pardons, that make you eligible for expungements. Even, believe it or not, I know it's a whole host of felons out there that won't believe this fact right here, that you are even entitled to your gun rights restoration. A lot of us, man, committed these crimes when we was 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 years old. And we 30, 40, and 50 right now. But in our minds, because of what we have been taught, there is no way, there's no hope for us to be cleared of those wrongs of the past and to be eligible for, upstanding citizenship. But Commander General Yohana sent me out here today to let all brothers and sisters know that there is a way for you to obtain your full citizenship rights today. And Commander General Yohana came up with the sauce, the program. Any brother, man, desiring to rid himself of the wrongs of his past need to call Commander General Yohana today. You can reach him at 586-382-0569. And guess what? You'll be you'll be aligned with a brother that will show you what you need to do in order to be eligible for a full pardon, right? Your felonies expunged from your record, so you could obtain housing and what else? Employment and you know what I mean, just regular citizenship. You know, Commander Junior Hunter has devised his program for you to call us, man, and we're gonna hook you up with all the necessary paperwork and everything that you need to do to submit to those municipalities to be good, man. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead, priest.
If I may, sir.
No, go ahead, open the door, fam.
Yes, sir.
That's twice.
If I may, sir, there's certain schools.
Not just
Like
for
that.
education, but trying to find a house with a felony, trying to apply for credit with a felony. You know what I'm saying? Trying to, even as I indicated earlier, trying to get a woman with a felony.
Damn right.
Some of these women gonna ask you ever been convicted of a crime? You see what I'm saying? But a brother that go through our program, guess what? And get a full pardon or have his record expunged, don't have to worry about that, man. You see what I'm saying? That's why it's so important. Go ahead.
So this is my this is where I need clarification at, sir. Is that what's the difference between, because the reason why I asked this question, because you know Donald Trump has given out a lot of pardons. You know, he just pardoned Larry Hoover and some other cats.
He did.
Who, you know, probably
He pardoned Larry Hoover.
Yeah, he did, sir.
Right.
And so what's the difference between pardon and an expungement? So what I'm asking is if just say like Larry Hoover did all type of, you know, heinous crimes inside the black community, are those crimes no longer tied to his record?
Well, I don't know that Larry Hoover did anything, but if he did, because I wasn't there, that's the only reason I'm saying that. But if he is guilty of murder and all the things they accuse him of, then he rightfully should be in some, you know, some institution. You know what I mean? That go for anybody. You do something that's wrong, you have to pay the cost for that thing. I don't know about locking you up forever. Larry Hoover is he's an elder right now. I think he's 70-something. Yeah, 70-something years old, man. He got less than maybe 10, 15 years to live. You know what I mean? So, you know, I don't know that he should be in there or he shouldn't, because I don't know the nuances of his case. But if you're a brother that has been convicted and you did that thing, you know what I mean? There's a lot of us out here that actually did that crime. If you're a brother that did that crime, but you want to be, you want to show society your current face, if you know what I mean. You know, your current motivation, you know, to live, you know, it frequently changes every 5 years. You know what I'm saying? So with a man, you know what I mean? His motivation might to get a big truck or a car or something like that, and he'd do anything to obtain it. But after a certain age, you know, you want to do something else. So I don't know what Larry Hoover's, you know, circumstances. Go ahead.
If I may, sir, I'm just saying the things that he was accused of. So like you said, I don't know if he did it or not, but with the pardons, I don't know the difference between.
My point is, how long has he been in the penitentiary?
Forever.
He's been in that.
He was there before I was
40,
born.
50 years, right? So after 50 years, are you the same person? Like we change every 3-4 years, right? You know what I mean? We are mature. Like it's men out here that were raised, and I'm sure this is the same thing in Larry Hoover's case, that was raised in the ghetto. Like before he was taught ABCs, he might have been taught how to, you know, cook up some coke or some crack or something, right? So, you know, for those cases, it's required some level of understanding. It's like, you know what I mean? So like, I wouldn't treat a Larry Hoover like I would treat, you know, somebody born in in an environment where it was milk and honey, and they decided to go and sell crack. You know what I'm saying? Like the majority of us that opt to sell drugs and commit crimes, it's because of we are deprived and we're impoverished. Yes or no? It's because we're deprived and impoverished. So I wouldn't treat Larry Hoover like I would treat, let's say, a Donald Trump. You feel me? They're around the same age. I wouldn't treat a Donald Trump, who had been convicted of all of them goddamn crimes, like I would treat a Larry Hoover. If anything, I'll be hammering Donald Trump a little bit harder than Larry Hoover, because Larry Hoover looked at his circumstances and said, I need to change this shit for my family. Yes, sir. You feel me? So again, it's so many different nuances to considering in the you know, in how you consider one for expungement. You know what I'm saying? And in this right school of UPK, Commander Giuliani has devised a perfect plan. I mean, you're a brother that hasn't committed a felony in the last 5 years. You know what we're gonna do? We're gonna look at your record. We're gonna look at what you've done in the society. You know, if you've gone to school, if you have obtained employment, if you married. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna look at all of those things and determine whether or not you're fit for our program. Like a lot of brothers that I get calls from right now, they just committed a crime last month. They got a crime on the goddamn books. You know what I'm saying? And they trying to get expunged. But the rare brother that calls me, like I was dealing with a brother today that caught his crime in Iowa, 10, 15 years ago. And what he's done, he's got married, he had children, he worked every day, paid this restitution to society. This brother is definitely eligible for not just gun rights restoration, but a full pardon from that crime. So what we appealing to brothers and sisters out there today is, man, get with the Israelite School of UPK, man. If you one of them brothers, man, that fall into that rare breed, that realize that they made a mistake and they have not committed a crime within 5 years, even y'all that has, man, still give us a call. But specifically those of us that has that discipline. And like, man, I made a mistake back then. My resolve once I come out of these institutions is to do what? It's to live live the life of a normal citizen as much as possible, right? So if you one of those brothers, you know, and it's a million of them around the Detroit area, man, and I get calls from them all the time, that has not committed a crime within the last 5 years. You've been married, you know what I'm saying? You got some children, you own your home, you've been, you know, reasonably an upstanding citizen, man. You know, your basic criteria is that 5 year of a non-felony conviction. If you want to know brothers that fall into that category, you need to give us a call.
Sir, would this be a precept for what you're just talking about? This is 1 Corinthians chapter 13 and 11.
Please.
When I was a child, I spake as a child.
Goddamn right.
I understood as a child. I thought as a child.
And a lot of us, man, were thinking as a child, meaning with some immaturity in our thought process, we thought it was better to go rob the Wendy's across the street than it was to go educate ourselves. You know what I'm saying? And still, I know this part is hard, right? And still deal with the employment discrepancies in the Black community. A lot of us really tried to get a job and we couldn't, and we did some other things. Go ahead, Hop One.
Come on, sir. We got just a few people checking in. We got Bakayar Gabar. I hope I didn't annihilate his name. Checking in for class. Okay. He didn't say where he was from, sir. No, got Nasha.
Anybody got any questions out there?
Not yet, sir. True Brother Saginaw, Shalak Yala, and Brock Yala.
It's a lot of brothers out. I think the majority of us don't realize how deep the implications of criminality go in the Black community. I know we hear all the time that Black men, you know, are more prone to criminality, but the part that we forget is what the sociologists deduced. right? Which is when you deprive a people of basic human rights. You know what I mean? Housing, employment, job opportunities. You know what they're gonna do? They're gonna start to eat each other. You know what I'm saying? That's why black on black crime is so high. It's because the people that make the policy for this nation that we're in, they know that if we deprive the black community of X amount of resources, they're just gonna turn on themselves. They're gonna commit crimes against themselves. You know what I mean? And if that perpetuates, then eventually you'll see a major decline in the black community, which is all orchestrated. It's all by design. You know what I mean? Go ahead.
If I may, sir, I've seen experiments by the government, what they did with mice. They would give mice housing and food and all that kind of stuff, and these mice would thrive and as a community. But as soon as they remove the food and the housing and the necessities to live, the mice started to eat upon each other. You start to see homosexuality amongst the mouse. You start to see the mothers not taking care of the children. The smaller mice, the mothers, they would board these mice and then wouldn't take care of it. It was almost the same thing you see in the black community today, right? As well as that, I have an article on black men being unlawfully arrested more than our Caucasian counterparts.
Which is the topic of our class right now, right? What we wanted to showcase right now is how historically black men have been like singled out in these so-called felonies or crimes, been labeled and pressed upon them. So go ahead with your article.
Another one, sir. Let's see. So this is from the UCI, criminology, law, and sociology.
I got one for you as well. Go ahead.
It says data shows African Americans are more likely to be wrongfully convicted. Say African Americans are more likely to be wrongfully convicted of murder, rape, and drug crimes than white people. And those who are exonerated spend more time in prison before they are released, according to the recent report by the National Registry of Exoneration.
Read it one more time.
Another one, sir. Say African Americans are more likely to be wrongfully convicted of murder, rape, and drug crimes than white people.
That's
and
crazy.
Slack it, sir.
No, go ahead, please. Slack it.
And those who are exonerated spend more time in prison before they are released, according to a recent report by the National Registry of Exoneration. The registry relocates its institution home to UCI, Newark Center of Science and Sociology.
Read it one more time from the beginning.
Sir. African Americans are more likely to be wrongfully convicted of murder, rape, and drug crimes than white people.
Damn.
And those who are exonerated spend more time in prison before they are released, according to the recent report by the National Registry of Exoneration.
God. That's heavy. I just sent you some stuff as well. So, you know what? Like, only thing you got to know is this right here, man. When you're dealing with your oppressor, he's definitely going to look at your sons in a different light than he looks at his sons. So, I used to always wonder, like, why is it that, like, and I'm driving in white communities, why is it that every time I see somebody pulled over, it's a black person in white communities? It's because they looking at you like you the foreigner and you shouldn't even be in their community. And because he's looking at you like that, you're more apt to have a crime put on you erroneously than they are in your community. Because while we teach our children to love everybody, right? They teach their children to look out for that black man, that little black boy. You know what I mean? Like, don't trust, don't do no business with black people. Black people are inherently evil. You know, I was reading through the Book of Mormons, man, and what they've been teaching white people for 400 years in this country is that black people are cursed. They're cursed because they are associated with Satan. That's in the Book of Mormons. So while your mother and my mother taught us to love all people regardless of what they look like, they've been taught if that man got dark skin, it's a curse. He's inherently evil. And because of that, they grew up to be what? Police officers. When they pull you over in your car or come into your community, they hunting people that match what their parents have taught them. That you are inherently evil and you deserve to be locked up because you're a spawn of Satan. That's in their Bible. That's in their scripture, man. That's how these little kids are taught. You know what I'm saying? So like the thing that get me when we are surprised at the next atrocity. Why are you surprised that the brother got shot 20 times? When they teach their kids from 2 and 3, 4 years old that black people, man, Hispanic and Native Indian people are inherently evil. You know, they curse from God. You got to read that Mormon's Bible, man.
If I may, sir.
Please.
The Bible says they have a perpetual hatred against Jacob.
Mm-hmm. Their perpetual hatred extends from knowing who they really are in the scripture. Because they know they're Esau. And Esau number one desire is to make sure that you don't know who you are. So then you'll put on the bigger hat. You'll know how to outsmart him. But a lot of our people just thrive off emotions. You know what I'm saying? Police pull you over. You're like, oh man, I ain't do this. Man, shit, you pulled me over, man. The window coming down 2 inches. I'm sticking the license through there and the registration and the insurance, and don't say shit else to me. Write the ticket.
Write the ticket.
When you know who you are, that's what you do. I wanted to come down about enough to hear what the fuck he got to say. He get license, registration, and insurance in a bundle. And from that, nigga, I ain't got nothing to say. And if you want to fuck with me beyond that, call your supervisor. You see? That's really how it works. But the majority of us, when they pull us over, what they're trying to do is get you excited, young man. Okay. They want to say something to make you irate and get you upset, so then they can justify pulling you out the car, putting handcuffs on you, because you what?
You're irate.
Disorderly. You're disorderly. So if you maintain, oh, man, here go my license, my registration, and my insurance through the crack of the window about like this, here you go. No, I ain't telling you where I'm going or nor where I'm coming from.
Okay.
No, officer. You know, I ain't answering any questions. If this a traffic stop, you got my credentials. But just make sure you got your insurance, your registration, and your license. Anything he do to you beyond that, you got to have a leg to stand on in their judicial system. You feel me? You know, but I didn't learn that until after I spent thousands of dollars in that court system with all my emotions. Like he pulled me over for a air freshener hanging from the goddamn rear view mirror thing, calling it an obstruction of vision. And when he said that, guess what I did? Oh, goddamn it, motherfucker! He hit me. The fuck you pulled me? What? And then you gonna write me all these other? Then you find some weed in the car. You know what I mean? Now I'm locked up for the whole weekend with no leg to stand on because guess what? I was wrong. But when you right, guess what you do? You maintain Christ, man. Roll that window down as much as you need to communicate with him. Hand him all your legitimate credentials. He asked you any questions that ain't pertaining to that motherfucking traffic stop. It's lucky, officer. I ain't answering none of them questions. If you need them, you should call your supervisor to ask them. That's it.
It's like it don't make sense.
Please.
That remind me of an incident that I had. I was going to court on, getting custody of the kids out in Romeo Plank. So I'm driving down Jefferson Lakeshore Drive, get pulled over because this is the first time I had seen, I'm 20 something years old. First time I seen how these big houses off the water, these multi-million-dollar houses off the water. So I'm cruising, the officer pulled me over. And he pulled me over. He say, he look at my, he say license, registration, proof of insurance. I give him that information. He say, he called me by my government. He say, you live in HP. What you doing all the way out here? So I say, well, I just completed my second engineering degree. I figure I'll move out here by you, officer. That was the wrong thing to say. I got $700 worth of tickets that day. I got my tassel hanging from the window. I had 2 of them. So I got a ticket for both of them. I had the chain around the license plate to say, 2012 graduate, 2007 graduate. I got for that. I had a crack in my windshield, but it was under my wiper blades. I got a ticket for that. And then he wrote me a ticket for having a headlight out and a tail light out, which I didn't have out. Right. So after all these tickets accumulated, he was like, well, sir, go ahead, have a nice day. Go ahead and take care of that. Right. Just like that. He knew he had gave me some tickets for, some things that I shouldn't have got.
So he still wrote you all of those tickets.
Still wrote me all those tickets. So I went ahead and correct those issues. New windshield, got the tassel removed, got the chain removed. Got to go out to court out here in Romeo Plank. Back out there, right? And the judge tells me, he says, well, Officer such wrote you these tickets. I say, yep. Show them pictures of how all those features were completed, were compliant now. Right? He said, I'm glad you fixed that. $763. $763.
Man,
I remember that.
That's a perfect example of a wrongful conviction. You know what I mean? Which lead me to my next point, right? You know what I'm saying? It's been a lot of brothers, man, like George Stanley Jr., Alexander Williams, Marcellus Williams, Larry Griffin, Brian Keith Baldwin, Willie McGee, James Joseph Richardson, man. All of these brothers, man, were convicted of crimes, man, at an early age, and later found to be not guilty. All of them, guess what? Were killed. All these brothers was murdered in a lecture chamber. Years later, evidence surfaced, DNA evidence proved that they were not even at the location at that time. It wasn't even their DNA in the woman that was murdered and raped and murdered. It wasn't him. So what white folks historically have, like our oppressor have historically done, is that like a white man can go through a white community and rape and kill a white child. Let's say again what I do wrong. So like our oppressor will go through his own community, right, and put his eye on one of his own people, and SA his own people, and then his own people would say, no, my people couldn't have done this. It had to be one of them from around the corner. And then they'll start hunting our people, black men, the one that most, you know what I'm saying, can fit that, you know what I mean, that category, because he had a job along that route. You hear what I'm saying? He had a job along that route, so they figured he was the one that was guilty of that crime. But later, it was found to be that damn oppressor who had already passed.
Salakia, sir.
And they couldn't put him in jail.
I've seen that. Remember, Rosewood was based off of something like that, off a true story.
I don't know if I saw Rosewood. Yeah, I think I saw it. I don't remember.
So Rosewood, how it started off, it was one of the oppressor daughters. She was messing around on her husband, right, with another oppressor's son, and the boyfriend or whatever you call it had beat her up, right. So when the boyfriend beat her up, so that the husband wouldn't get rid of her, she says it was a nigga.
Go ahead. Come.
He said it was a nigga, right? And they went through Rosewood and killed hundreds of black people, right? Knowing that it was a slim possibility there was a black man. Now this oppressor daughter, I think she had a nanny that was a black woman, and she told them like, no, it wasn't one of us, it was one of them, right? And after killing the hundreds of black folk, come back around. Okay, they figured out, they go back to him. It's like, well, your wife is loose anyway. It probably was somebody she was messing around with. But if I may, sir, please. We got Officer Shirewan has an article about the Scottsboro brothers who was wrongfully convicted.
Where's Shirewan at right now?
Shirewan's online right now, sir.
He is? No sign of
Colonel Khan, sir. I'll jump over to him. Yeah, Shirewan's online too, sir. Oh, he just clicked out.
He clicked out? Oh, you should have him in there.
So lucky. I'll try to get back in touch with him.
Ain't no sweat. So what was his article about again?
It was about the false imprisonment of the Scottsboro brothers. Right? If you give me a second, I can pull it up. Yeah, but I would rather for him to present it.
Fine. If you could get him online before you present that, that was his thing. I appreciate it if he bring it out. So give me a scripture other than that one that you brought to bring out right now.
I got Lamentations chapter 4, verse 17.
I know you got that one. That's a good one. They hunt our steps. But it's more. I'm going to give you one right now to bring out. Salakia.
He said he just had a little quick issue that he was correcting with his computer and laptop. So he's going to be back on momentarily.
No sweat.
So if I may, sir, we got many scriptures that speaks about, even the Native American man said that.
Give me Psalms 44 and 22, but go ahead with what you were saying.
Even
Psalms 44 and 22.
The Native American man was speaking how the oppressor's tongue was forked. He was double-tongued.
Forked tongue, exactly. You know what that means. What the forked tongue represent?
The forked tongue represents a snake.
There you go.
So he will say one thing and do another.
Yeah. The snake seems so docile, man. And, harmless, man. Until you realize he just gonna bite your ass and put some venom up in you. Somebody give me what I just asked for, Psalms 44 and 22. Then give me Isaiah 42 and 22. Go ahead.
I'll grab Isaiah.
Psalms chapter 44, verse 22. Yeah, for thy sake are we killed all the day long. We are counted as sheep for the slaughter.
Read it one more time.
Yeah, for thy sake are we killed all the day long. We are counted as sheep for the slaughter.
I think, man, listen, I ain't even got to add to this scripture right here because it's plain as day. Like you look around, the number one man on the planet Earth that's being murdered look just like us. Look just like black people, man. Hispanic people as well, man. Native Indian people as well, man. To the tune of 199 million of our Native Indian brothers got slaughtered. And they still devising plans to just exterminate them all together. Not that like black people think, like right now they think that they can't be touched. You think because of your slavery and your citizenship that you can't be gathered up and deported? That's a goddamn lie. Your criminality, or I should say, the accusation of criminality in the black community is going to be the justification for our oppressor to gather a large sum of us up in the future and consider us for deportation.
Yeah, right.
That's what's going to happen. It's going to be a great sum of us that can't stay out of the jail. Then every time you look up, every 6 months, you got some crime. Man, they're going to come up with a bill that's going to push your ass to Guantanamo. Where was they just sending the Mexican brothers to?
To El Salvador, wasn't it, sir? Somewhere in Central America.
Somewhere, man. Somewhere in some third world a penitentiary where the shit that come on your damn plate look just like Mugla Roo, man. Rump gristle is what you eating in them joints, man. That's why everybody look like they're in shape and slim, because you don't even want to eat the food in these joints, man. They grinding up like the field mice and serving them to you on the patty. Imagine them, man, they collecting field mice, grinding them up and little flour, no salt or nothing, frying that shit up for you and giving it to you every day. That's what you eating in them penitentiaries in El Salvador. You eating field mice, man. Shayawan, I want him to bring it.
Khan on the one Khan. I'm so Shayawan, are you here, sir? Yeah, he's sitting there.
Good, Khan. Hey, Shalom, Yabba Shemar Shabbat.
I heard you had a heavy point that you wanted to bring out, priest.
Khan, sir, I had a article that I wanted to share. Khan, sir, this is an article from the Slovakia. It's from the National Museum Academy, and it was titled the Scottsboro Boys. It says the case of the Scottsboro Boys, which lasted more than 80 years, helped to spur the civil rights movement. The perseverance of the Scottsboro Boys and the attorneys and community leaders who supported their case helped to inspire several prominent activists and organizers. To Kill a Mockingbird, this Pulitzer Prize-winning novel by white author Harper Lee is also loosely based on this case. On March 25th, 1931, 9 African-American teenagers were accused of raping 2 white women aboard a Southern Railroad freight train in northern Alabama. It says Haywood Patterson, Olin Montgomery, Clarence Norris, Willie Robertson, Andy Wright, Ozzie Powell, Eugene Williams, Charlie Weems, and Roy Wright were searching for work when a racially charged fight broke out between passengers. The fight is said to have started when a young white man stepped on the hand of one of the Scottsboro Boys. The young white men who were fighting were forced to exit the train. Enraged, they conjured a story of how the black men were at fault for the incident. By the time the train reached Paint Rock, Alabama, the Scottsboro Boys were met with an angry mob and charged with assault. Victoria Price and Ruby Bates, 2 white women, were also riding the freight train, faced charges of vagrancy and illegal sexual activity. In order to avoid these charges, they falsely accused the Scottsboro Boys of rape. Yeah, that's the main part of it, sir.
Most High in Christ. And how long ago was that crime?
1931.
Damn. So did they do the full sentence?
They had served. I'd have to read more on it if you want me to.
Okay, were they later exonerated?
I had recently heard an article where they were just recently being let go, but they had already done like the full life term and all that.
So they did their whole sentence, and then now my question is: upon release, were they given a not guilty status, or are they still under that felony from so long ago?
Con, sir, I couldn't exactly say. I believe everything was dropped, but they were all like in their old age by the time everything was dropped.
Right, that's important though, because there's so many of us, and I actually looked up a lot of cases. Let me see right now. I looked up a lot of cases where, hold on. where brothers were convicted of crimes. I'm gonna just riffle off a couple of them.
Come on, sir. I'm looking up now too to see if they were fully exonerated.
Yeah, but later exonerated because they have a program out right now. Because back in the 30s, there was no DNA evidence, right? So anybody that was murdered back then, where it was blood stains, saliva, skin, hair, that was collected at the crime scene, those things can be examined. It can be examined right now. You know what I mean? And it can be determined whether or not those fibers or blood splatters, the evidence that the felon left behind are truly or do truly belong to the one that was convicted. And man, you wouldn't believe how many brothers and sisters, mainly brothers, that have been exonerated based on DNA evidence, but it was somebody in the courtroom pointing a finger directly at him. Like, that's the one that did it. But it wasn't never that brother. I'm going to give you Marcellus Williams, death sentence and executed. Sentenced in 1998, executed in Missouri by lethal injection on September 24th, 2024, for a murder he insists he did not commit. Prosecutors and DNA evidence raised serious doubt. His post hominin status considered a wrongful execution by many advocates. Meaning these people, these advocates went in looked at the evidence after he was executed, and they found, man, the DNA evidence didn't match up. Mm-hmm. And later on, some of these brothers that I'm mentioning right now, their families was even compensated for that wrongful death, or that wrongful conviction. Please.
Is it me, or does it seem like our oppressor doesn't care about who's convicted for some of these brash crimes, unless they only care that a black man, black woman, Native American man, one of the 12 tribes go to jail for this crime. Right. They don't give a crap if the person is convicted, that the person that is convicted did the crime or not.
They don't. What they really want to do is lock your black ass up. Like any crime that go on unsolved, they want to find a black man to pin it on.
So ahead. I got another one. This is the Central Park jogger case.
Oh my God. The one that Donald Trump headed. Not headed, but had his opinion about. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. It says the Central Park jogger case, sometimes termed as the Central Park 5 case, was a criminal case concerning the assault and rape of Tricia Mullally, a woman who was running in Central Park in Manhattan, New York, on April 19th of 1889. Crime in New York City was peaking in the late 80s and the early 1990s as the crack epidemic surged. On the night Mullally was attacked, dozens of teenagers had entered the park, and there were reports of mugging and physical assaults. 6 teenagers were indicted in relationship to the Mullally assault. Charges against one, Stephen Lopez, were dropped after Lopez pled guilty to a different assault. The remaining 5, Antron McCray, Kevin Richardson, Yusuf Salam, Richard Santana, and Corey Wise, known as the Central Park 5, later the exonerated 5.
That's right.
Were convicted of the charges, offenses of, and Slocky, convicted of the charged offenses and served sentences ranging from 7 to 13 years. Want me to continue?
Well, I mean, that's enough, right? But these brothers was later exonerated, right? They were exonerated, proved to not have been, the ones that actually raped this woman. And to my point, this happened in 89. Think about the cases that occurred in 1920, the 1900s. You know what I mean?
With no DNA.
With no DNA evidence. White men could could basically go throughout the community and do whatever they want to do and just blame it on black folks. I guarantee you, if you pull up the charts of white men convicted of these same type of crimes, you will see at that era that they were convicted of very few of these type of crimes, while black men were convicted at a higher rate. You know what I mean? Which means that they were able to push their crimes off on black folks. And another thing, a lot of these unsolved crimes, man, that you see in the community are actually committed by white folks. And because they don't want to go into the white community and do any investigations, they're going to automatically put it on black folks. You know, but what is the point, man? You know, the point of the class today, man, is that if you're a brother or sister out there, like I know it's a lot of, and we're going to be in the community a lot this summer. But there's a lot of brothers and sisters out there in the black community, black, Hispanic, and Native Indian community that have been living with a felony for the last 5-10 plus years, sitting at home, you know what I mean, and can't get a job because every time they apply for one, guess what? The potential employer is saying, "Oh man, you had an armed robbery, you know what I mean, or you had an assault, you had this drug conviction, man, that you lied about, man, and so we can't hire you for that." The point of this class today is let everybody know, man, that there's relief. Right. Commander General Yohana has put out a decree for every state in the union, every camp, man, to come up with an expungement program that would relieve the community of all of these unfair burdens, man. You know what I'm saying? So get with Commander General Yohana, man, the Israelite School of UPK, man. Search, you know what I mean, where our schools are at in your community, man. And guess what we can help you with? Not just get, you know, we can even obtain a full pardon for you, believe it or not, if your case was that long ago. There's a lot of brothers and sisters out there in the community right now. Their case is 10, 15, 20, 30 years old, man. And they worry that they can't obtain employment because of a conviction that happened so long ago, or 2 or 3 convictions that happened, you know what I mean, when you was in your wild era, man. But guess what? We got relief for you today, man. Get with Commander General Yohana, the Israelite School of UPK in your district, man. Search the school, the Israelite School of UPK on Google, and you're going to find where we are. Get with call the brother that's associated with that number that's right there, and he's going to put you in tune with our expungement program. Not only are we expunging your felonies, but guess what? We petitioning the state or the feds for your full pardon. And we also, you know, asking for your gun rights to be restored.
Damn right.
Brothers love hearing that part right there, that even if we don't get you a full-fledged pardon, even if we're not able to get you a pardon, right? We are still able, based on your behavior after your conviction. Like some of y'all sitting on 10-year felonies, man, believing that you can't have a gun right, that you can't carry your gun, that you can't bear arms in your home, man. That's not true. We got the paperwork. We got the legal team, man, sitting up here ready, man, under Commander General Yohana, the Israelite School of UPK, to relieve you of all of those burdens, man. We're gonna make it so that whatever application that you fill out, your previous 10 or 15 years does not come to bear. You know what I'm saying? So get with the Israelite School of UPK and the Commander General Yohana, man. We're going to solicit the municipalities, man, to fully restore you of all your dignity, man. Go ahead.
Slakia, my sir. I got a question online. This
ahead.
is from a individual by the name of Brown Hornet 1975.
Brown Hornet
1975.
That's an old head. Go ahead.
It says, if I may, sir, is there any scripture or prophecy linked to what's going on with the Issacharite being deported in mass? The water, sir.
Ooh, I know there is. Is there any scripture that I can pull that show that the Issacharites would be deported in mass? The one that I would give you that comes off the top of my head is this right here. That the Issacharites, that this is your land. You know what I mean? North, Central, and South America belongs to the Issacharites. Okay. So I wouldn't look at it like, so that question right there kind of You know what I'm saying? Like you can go to Deuteronomy and you know what I mean, and go to the scriptures that say that the fruit of thy land and all thy labors shall another nation eat up. That's one of them, right there. Go to that one real quick. Let's get that. The fruit of thy land and all thy labors shall another nation eat up, and there shall be no might in thy hand. I believe I phrased that correctly. I could be in error, but I think your question is kind of your question is a little bit in error, I would say, just slightly off, because North, Central, and South America belongs to the Taínos, man. Belong to the Issacharites. You know, the Judites, we over here, we visitors. This ain't our land either. This is your land. You Hispanic brothers, man. You Native Indian brothers and sisters, man. This your spot right here. So the scripture that more support your question is going to go back to Deuteronomy, the curses. And the curses say that the fruit of thy labor, please.
If I may, sir, the Lord shall make the pestilence cleave unto thee until he has consumed thee from off the land.
That's not the one.
Slocky.
But that's a good one though. Slocky. That's not the one I was asking for. The one I want is the fruit of thy labor. Hold on. Go ahead. Continue with that one. Let me find the one I'm looking for.
Another one, sir. This is Deuteronomy chapter 28 and 21. It says, the Lord shall make the pestilence cleave unto thee.
What's the pestilence that will cleave to thee?
The pestilence would be the atrocities that our oppressors commits towards us. Will be the, what we're seeing is the Jim Crow, COVID, the Jim Crow, the Trail of Tears,
the pestilence is going to be like it's going to be like the diseases. You know what I'm saying? The pestilence, the things that hurt the body.
So would that be like high blood pressure and all that kind of stuff we got going on now, sir?
Yes, but it's another one.
Select the other one. I may have it for you.
Please give it to me, please.
This is Deuteronomy 28, verse 33.
That sounds about right.
The fruit of thy land and all thy labors shall a nation which thou knowest not eat up.
That's you Issacharites, man. You Native Indians, brothers and sisters, man. You know what I'm saying? And that's Judah too. You know what I'm saying? That's us as well. But this land right here, man, was first occupied by our Native Indian brothers and sisters, man. You know what I'm saying? Mexicans, man. The Taínos, man. You know what I mean? This was their land. You know what I'm saying? And we were so kind-hearted. You know what I mean? We should have bombed them damn ships and just kept fighting. You know what I mean? But we didn't. We allowed them to come over here and we taught them how to survive. And once you teach a snake how to occupy your territory, he takes over. And that's what they did. Give me the brother's question one more time. Make sure
another one, sir. Point. If I may, sir, is there any scriptures or prophecy linked to what is going on with the Issacharites being deported in mass?
Damn right. He said any prophecy, right? And this is definitely a prophecy. The Lord said, this is what the Lord told you Native Indians, man. You Issacharite brothers, man, and you niggas out there, man. He said, if you don't obey me, guess what's going to happen? There's going to be another person that come into your land, and he's going to benefit from it more than you. You know what I'm saying? He's going to reap the rewards of your land while you struggle for morsels, man, and crumbs. And that's that scripture right there. Read it one more time.
Khan, verse 33. The fruit of thy land and all thy labors shall a nation which thou knowest not eat up.
One more time, please. Slocky.
The fruit of thy land and all thy labors shall a nation which thou knowest not eat up. And thou shalt be only oppressed and crushed always.
Man, read it one more time, Slocky.
Khan, sir. Deuteronomy 28, verse 33. the fruit of thy land and all thy labors shall a nation which thou knowest not eat up. And thou shalt be only oppressed and crushed alway.
So the oppression is what? The oppression is, you know what I mean, the Issacharite brothers and sisters try to come back over here to their God-given land and enjoy it. But guess what? You got ice raids. That's oppressed. And then crushed is when they take you from your family and then deport you to those other lands over there in El Salvador, and put you in the penitentiary. You know that one guy that they said was wrongly sent to El Salvador? They brought him back to the U.S. And then guess what the oppressor did after he touched down? Hit him with big crimes. Now he's serving. Now he's subjected to life in prison now. They put him. They gave him like P. Diddy charges, saying that he was bringing people back and forth across the borders. That's oppressed and crushed, man. Give me Deuteronomy. What was it? What verse was that we just read?
33, sir. Verse 33.
Give me 28. Give me 28 and 43 and 44.
Come. Deuteronomy 28, verse 43. The stranger that is within thee shall get up above thee very high, and thou shalt come down very low.
That's prophecy, man, right there about where the Issacharites are right now. At one time, they ran this land, man. At one time, they were the marvels of these North American shores, man. Now they're considered just, suitable for sacrifices, necessary, expendable. You know what I'm saying? Was that it?
Sir. Verse 44. He shall lend to thee, and thou shalt not lend to him.
He shall do what?
He shall lend to thee, and thou shalt not lend to him.
I'm going to give you a couple more. Give me Leviticus 26 and 16. Somebody else find Lamentations 5 and 2.
Come on, sir. This is the book of Leviticus, chapter 26 and verse 16. I also will do this unto you.
Hold on. Verse what?
16.
Go ahead.
I also will do this unto you. I will even appoint over you terrors, consumption.
Give me the verse again. You read it.
Come on, sir. This is Leviticus chapter 26 and verse 16. I also will do this unto you. I will even appoint over you terror, consumption, and the burning ague that shall consume their eyes and cause sorrow of heart. And ye shall sow your seed in vain. Sow your seed in vain.
Go ahead.
For your enemies shall eat it. Verse 17.
No, go to Leviticus 5 and 2.
Lamentations 5 and 2, sir.
Slock it. Lamentations 5 and 2.
Lamentations chapter 5, verse 2. Our inheritance is turned to strangers.
What?
Our inheritance is turned to strangers.
Give me this question again. Make sure I'm on point.
Sir. He says, if I may, sir, is there any scriptures or prophecy linked to what's going on with the Issacharites being deported in mass?
Go ahead, Hadawa.
Lamentations chapter 5, verse 2. Our inheritance is turned to strangers. Our house is to aliens. Verse 3. We are orphans. And we are orphans.
Come on. I don't know how much more he needs. Give me Isaiah 1 and 7. And somebody else get Micah 2 and 1 and 2.
2 and 1. I got Micah 2 and 1, sir.
This is
Isaiah 1 and 7 first.
Come. This is Isaiah chapter 1, verse 7. Your country is desolate. Your cities are burned with fire. Your land, strangers devour it in your presence.
Hold on. Strangers do what?
Devour it in your presence.
So think about the Issacharites, right? Like they over there, they here deporting the Issacharites out of their own damn land and to regions of their land that's not as robust, that's not as giving. You know what I'm saying? That's why the scripture referred to early on in what we were reading. It said that the strangers, you know what I'm saying, shall get very high, and you're gonna be very low. Meaning they're gonna use all your resources to build themselves up and not share anything with you. And in the process, guess what's gonna happen to you? You're gonna just be on a decline.
If I may, sir.
Please.
What's so heavy about that is we've seen the same things happen to the Native Americans when they pushed them off their land and went through the Trail of Tears and they put them on these reservations.
That's right.
Now, this is just the Hispanic man is just going to a reservation, right? But as a sort is black man got to understand that you next. They're gonna figure out a way to do the same thing to you.
I think we talked about that earlier. They actually there. You know what he do is he put I'll give you a little taste of what's coming. And all you brothers out there that's committing crime after crime after crime after crime, you got felony after felony after felony, you're going to find yourself in the Guantanamo penitentiary. They're going to deport your ass. And over there, you're going to be eating a bunch of roaches in the patty, fried. I'm telling you. They ain't over there in Guantanamo killing cows for your ass. You eating bugs and fucking rats, man, ground up over there. Snakes, anything that they can turn into a fried patty. That's what they're giving to you.
So, like, if I may, sir,
please.
Are they purposely using unlawful foods?
I wouldn't say I wouldn't say purposely, like it's intended, because they don't know who the hell they are either. They're about what's cheap and more economical.
Come on.
I can catch 1 million field of mice tonight. You see? Grind the mugs in a patty, man, and fry them. You know, put a little cheese on it, maybe. Mayo to mask the stank on it. I guarantee you ain't need no wagyu over there. You ain't need no big cow. The cow is for them. They gonna give your ass the cat and the rat, the snake burger. Salakia, it ain't funny, but I'm telling you, if you go over there to them Guantanamo penitentiaries, man, right? I guarantee you that ain't no beef on your plate, on your platter. It ain't even pig. It ain't even pork. If you eating field mice, ground up. You know, they give you a Nutriloaf right here in the Michigan penitentiary. You know what I mean?
If I may, sir, for a brother that ain't been to the penitentiary, what's a Nutriloaf?
What's a Nutriloaf? A Nutriloaf is when you know, Ottawa, come on.
Everything they cook that week.
Everything they
put into one patty.
And not fresh. You go in that bitch about it, like me and Ottawa did, you know what I mean? They're gonna eventually get your big ass down and put the handcuffs on you and mace you and put you in the cell. And then you're gonna do it because you spit on them and bit them and kicked them and fought them real good. They claim that they can't, have any, real physical contact with you, which includes handing you a tray of food, because you're just gonna do what? How to what?
Throw it on them.
Take the food and do what?
Throw it on them.
And throw it on them. That's what they say. So that's me. That's me. I'm kicking and screaming. I'm fucking everything up, right? So now they justified in taking all of the food, like say you got Kool-Aid, you got macaroni and cheese or rice or whatever. They just take this shit and put it in the blender and put it in the oven and heat it up and cut it in the square and give it to you. And his brothers, and it ain't funny. It ain't funny, Salaka. I shouldn't even be laughing. This is real serious, man. It's brothers that's been sitting down in them holes that's been on Nutriloaf for 5 years. Because it was something that ticked them off, and they went off. And every time the police deal with them, they go off. So they on Nutriloaf forever. You know what I'm saying? Salaka for going that deep. But, You know what I mean? In Guantanamo prisons, I guarantee you, it's not much better than that. You feel me?
Salaki, if I may, sir.
Please.
Malak Allah said eating pig snout and possum hip.
Oh, that's a delicacy to that Nutriloaf. You wish you had a pig snout come through that joint. At least you know what it is. That damn Nutriloaf, man, you don't know what they done ground up and jacked off in that joint because you didn't beat their ass or whatever. You know what I'm saying? You don't know what they didn't Mugla rude in that, man. Salakia. Where were we at?
Salakia, out of one.
Please, please.
I had a question on this topic. Because so in Canada, when they had legalized weed, the government estimated that they'd have around 10,000 people apply for this program to get their charges dropped. And out of those 10,000 people, there was only like 800 people that were actually eligible. And out of that 800, I think there was like 400 people that actually applied, and only like 200 got approved.
Right.
So I'm wondering if that's similar in the States, and if there's brothers that are out there, you know, that if they had some more information, you know, maybe they'd be able to apply to get those charges dropped.
That's one thing that I have not done, and I've been remiss in that regard. So our next, the next thing we're going to do, Habawan and myself, and you included, is just research what's the requirements in Canada.
Okay.
Because if it's legal in Canada, they have to have recognized that it shouldn't have been illegal in the past.
Right.
There is some kind of in over here in the States, there is some reasonable conclusion that they shouldn't have convicted them brothers of that weed that they had, you know, a little bit, you know what I mean? So it's a little easier here, I believe, to get your pardon or your rights restored, and including your gun rights. And it don't take a long time.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I've dealt with brothers that have, especially if your conviction is, you know, like a high misdemeanor like marijuana, or a non-violent felony, like, you know, maybe you have marijuana and crack. You know what I mean? You were convicted 7-8 years ago. Here, I could do that for you overnight.
Okay.
So I could help you get a full pardon if that's your only crime. If your only crime is, it's like if your only crime is weed, a little cocaine, you ain't had no gun or nothing, that's easy for me. We can get that done inside of 90 days, including your full gun rights restored, right? Now, if you had a pistol and you had crack and weed together, a little bit more difficult. Nonetheless, you ain't shoot nobody, so it's easier than had you shot a cat. You know what I'm saying? Then it's easier if you don't have any violence associated with your felony. You see my point? So here in the States, they've even have gone so far to automatically expunge your record if you haven't caught a felony in 5 years, and it's a low, very low class felony, like you got caught with 3 rocks of cocaine. You know how many brothers out there that was smoking cocaine, man?
Right.
Anybody remember Malice Green? I'm dating myself.
Kalawakan, sir.
You remember Malice Green?
Kalawakan, sir.
Malice Green, man, was a crackhead, a brother that was on crack. And Walter Butson and Larry Nevers, I'll never forget these bastards' names. 2 Detroit police officers ran up on his brother, and he did not want to let his crack go because that was the last money he had. And they took the big ass police flashlights and beat him upside his head till he died. Beat him to death because of his addiction. You know what I'm saying? Had he just given him the crack, today that would have been looked at like, damn, why did they even arrest him? Because guess what? They should have offered him treatment, just like they offered their people treatment for the heroin addiction.
Right.
Certainly, it would have been very, very easy for me to get those felonies off that brother record.
If I may, sir.
In hindsight, you don't know that, and the brother lost his life in the process. Go ahead, please.
If I may, sir, he had 3 nickel rocks.
Little nickel rocks.
Nickel rocks.
He
So he
had
had $15.
And listen, half of it was baking soda, man. I know how they used to fix it up back then.
So he probably spent 12.
Yeah, it wasn't even $12. He probably had about $2 worth of crack. But he wanted it. You know what I'm saying? He would not give it up, and they bust his head open till he died.
Slucky, if I may, sir, wasn't that tied to the riots with Rodney King? It wasn't.
It was not. That was
okay.
Separate.
So those things went on like they were close together,
they
but
were very close together in proximity in terms of when it happened. But Walter Butson and Larry Nevers both was convicted of murder. I believe they both might be out right now. But
do long.
Huh?
They didn't do long.
They didn't do a lot of time.
No, they did.
But Malice Green, not Malice Green. What's his name?
Nevers or Butson?
Larry, no. The brother that they killed. Was it Walter? What was
Malice
his name?
Green.
Malice Green Slocky. But he's dead. He's dead. Like they held trial right then. That was he don't want to relinquish the crack, so you hit him until you, and then you know what? That's why I don't like Kim Worthy, but I like her because how she prosecuted those police officers. She showed the actual headshots where the brother had gashes this big upside his head.
Now, if I may, sir,
please.
If you guys are not familiar with the police flashlights, the Detroit police used to carry a mag light that took 6 D batteries, right, in a row.
Yes.
So he had 6 D batteries in a row, right? So think about how this damn thing is a foot and a half. It's like a billy club.
About this long.
Yes. And you got
a handle right here, and you got that big hard
steel
right here. And they took that, and she was in the courtroom hitting her hand with it. You could hear rap. You knew if you got caught with that on your bare head, he was busting you wide open.
And if I may continue, sir,
please
understand is that they beat him with this flashlight, and the damn flashlight still worked in courts. Right? You could if I take a flashlight now and hit you with a flashlight, some of these long plastic flashlights, it's not going to work if I hit you the way they hit Malice Green. But the way they beat Malice, this flashlight, they just take this flashlight and hit it against some wood and broke wood in two in the courtroom.
Yep. And that was very powerful. That's why I can still say Kim Worthy name, because I remember that case. I'm thinking like, damn, they just beat my uncle to death, because my uncle was a crackhead at that time, and the family, hated him because he was still in the microwaves and shit, And I felt sorry for him, and I just saw my uncle in Malice Green.
What's so happy about that, sir, is that I've had multiple uncles that was crackheads, and them was the ones that cared for me the most. You doing this, you get your ass whooped. The uncles that care for you, hey nephew, don't do this, man, because you're gonna end up doing this, that, another thing. You get the more insight from the individuals that went through it than this. I had an uncle that was a police officer.
The hill that my uncle lived, man, forced his hand. What else could he do but smoke crack, given where he come from? You know what I'm saying? I knew his family, so I know why he did what he did. But anyway, let's move on. Any other questions online?
Let's check. No, we have Desiree Ellis checking in. We got some brother. No other questions, sir.
Give me Micah 2:1-2.
Kind I have it, sir. This is Micah chapter 2 and verse 1. Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it, because it is the power of their hands. Verse 2. And they covet fields and take them by violence.
And they do what?
They covet fields.
So these individuals that we're speaking on, which is our oppressor, man, they look at what you have, what you're trying to accomplish, and guess what? In their heart of hearts, they desire it. That's what they want. You see? And then in their mind, what they do is they devise a plan to rip it from you. Right? Keep going.
And they covet fields and take them by violence, and homes and take them away.
Hold on, and what?
And houses and take them away.
Go ahead.
So they oppress a man and his house, even a man and his heritage.
So I'm gonna end it right there, Rip. For the brother, I believe that was the Issachar brother that asked the question regarding what's being done to our Hispanic brothers and sisters, right? And I'm gonna conclude that question right there.
If I may, sir.
Go ahead.
What's so heavy about that, what's going on in the city right now is that the brother that built that compound on was that Chalmers?
Chalmers,
yes. The mayor is trying to take that away from him. Said he had a blight issue, and then when he fixed the blight issue, said it was something else going on. Then it's rumored that he didn't pay taxes. So that scripture goes right along with what's going on right now.
Mm-hmm. Anybody know about the Quincy 5, 1971 to 1972? Look that up for me real quick. Conviction: 5 black youth sentenced to death or life for killing a deputy in Florida. Errors: racial bias, coerced confessions, poor defense. Exoneration: all pardoned, exonerated by 1972. Look up Quincy 5 real quick.
If I may, sir.
Please.
The Quincy 5 were a group of 5 young African-American men from Quincy, Florida, who were charged with the 1970 murder of Leon County Deputy Sheriff. The men, Johnny Lee Burns, Alfonso Figures, Johnny Frederick, Dave Roby Keaton Jr., and David Charles Smith Jr. Were convicted on May 6, 1971.
Go ahead.
All were sentenced to death or given life sentences, even though at least 2 of them were teenagers and had never previously been accused of any crime. They were exonerated and pardoned in 1972 after many months of deliberation. 1974 saw the publication of the book David Charles, The Story of the Quincy 5, authored by Jeffrey Lixon. It included intense material based on prison interviews with Smith, which focused on his upbringing and experience as a musician and a soldier in the Vietnam War. At the time, Smith was serving a Florida prison sentence for setting a bomb at an electrical station in North Florida.
Damn.
He was subsequently sentenced on federal gun charges and released from federal prison on May 28, 1992.
Go ahead.
Quincy takes time during their Juneteenth celebration to recognize the Quincy 5 for being the nation's first prisoners to exonerate from death row.
You see that, man? So we're going back. Listen, we're going back to 1972 on this one. But guess what? That's when the attention was building up to kind of examine some of these some of these convictions, because it was somebody that was like, well, all of these convictions can't be right. Let's go into the records and examine the evidence and try to prove some of them wrong. He was the first one, and that was 50-something years ago. He was the first one back in 1972 that they decided to really go through the evidence with a fine-tooth comb. Typically, we're dealing with black people accused of crime. You're appointed some attorney that don't have your best interests at heart. And what happens more often than not is you wind up being overcharged and not to mention wrongly convicted, right? Overcharged, first of all. So, and it's another study we can dig up right now, that even if you did a crime, chances are that on top of that crime that you committed, they're going to charge you with multiple other crimes. So that's what black men face when they do commit a crime. They are often overcharged. That's a real thing.
If I may,
so I go in there for, let's say, shoplifting. They're gonna say, oh, I had a knife or something, and make it and turn into a armed robbery situation. You see what I'm saying? So don't just look at the conviction. Don't just look at whether a brother was guilty or not. Look at how much crime did they put on that brother, because potentially he could have got out in a year or 2 years. but these extra trumped up charges gave them the the leadway to give him more time in the penitentiary. Go ahead.
If I may, sir, for us that haven't been through the legal system on that, can you give a quick synopsis or breakdown on the pros and cons of having a court-appointed attorney, having a paid attorney versus a court-appointed attorney?
Yeah, oh my God, come on now. So your O.J. Simpson had a paid attorney.
What kind?
Yeah, Boom Boom and Nug Nug did not.
What kind?
And they sitting in the penitentiary right now still. And they committed their crime right around the same time that O.J. committed his. So the difference between having, when you say a paid attorney, you can go put mama's house up, and you're still not gonna get no better than too much better than a court-appointed lawyer. So the real lawyers are the ones that P. Diddy got, that Young Thug got, that Jay-Z had. Your
Flexible Birds.
Yeah, these other cats, man, shit, you still taking a chance on them because they don't have those resources. Go ahead, Hadawat.
Making deals with prosecutors, making deals with judges and stuff like that. That's them high profile lawyers that people be
They're making deals behind your back. You know what I'm saying? And that's the problem in the black community, man. We don't have like when the scripture says, Judah mourneth and the gates thereof languish, we don't have any protection. We don't have people that are not willing to forego the bag in order to stick with this brother and make sure this brother is treated fairly. We don't have that in our community. The only person, man, in my years that I can see that stick up for Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian people, honest to God, is Commander Journey Hunter. He the only one, man. I didn't watch them all sell out in my years in this earth. All the big names. I don't even want to name them. But all of them out there with the Million Man March shit, you know what I mean? The vote or die, you know what I'm saying? The Black Lives Matter, you know what I'm saying? All of these institutions out here, man, that have made a killing off of black dollars, man. They ain't really showing up for us because there's some subsidy that they getting as well. Come on, man. That's the real deal, man. The only brother out here, man, for Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian men and women, man, in terms of justice and fighting for them and sending representatives to these municipalities to fight for brothers and sisters is Commander Journey Hunter. That's it. That's it. Period. It's another one I want to bring out right here. Give me lock it. Give me Pitts and Lee, 1963. Death sentence, 1975.
Say that again, sir.
Pitts, Pitts, and Lee, 1963. Or the Ford Heights 4 in 1978.
Salakia, sir. I have Pitts and Lee versus Florida, often referred as the Pitts-Lee case, was a criminal case in which two African-American defendants were charged with murder. The case is remembered for its civil rights implications, and because it involved two death row members who were later exonerated.
Hold on, who were later what?
Later exonerated.
Later what?
Later exonerated.
That's why it's so important, man, to get with us, man. Let's get you a pardon. Let's get your full rights restored, including your gun rights, man. This is Right School of UPK and the Commander General Hunter, 586-382-0569. Keep going, priest.
The prosecutors deliberately tampered with evidence.
Hold on, they did what?
The prosecutors deliberately tampered with evidence.
Go ahead.
And the men were sentenced to death by an all-white jury.
Man, come on, man.
Slakia, sir, if I may.
And I just want to make one point, right? Like, these are very, very high-profile cases right here. Imagine the small case. little drugs that they say you had. All of that cocaine that they claimed that you had in your car. The gun that they said you had. You know what I'm saying? Imagine those cases. These cases right here, the only reason why they get attention is because they worth money. What do I mean by that? Why are these cases worth money?
Because and I'm just throwing something out there. They will be worth money because you got individuals like the NAACP and those individuals backing cases and receiving notoriety for their so-called help that they give these brothers.
You want it. You hitting on it, right? These entrepreneurs said, damn, there is money in figuring out whether or not these black men were really guilty of these crimes. So they devised a team of lawyers. To go through the paperwork, to examine the case and see holes in the case. And some of these lawyers even go and get the evidence, pull DNA, and have that DNA tested against the convict.
So if I may, sir,
please.
Are you saying that it's more beneficial to wrongfully convict a black person in a high-profile case
to the entrepreneur
and go back and exonerate them 10 years later?
That's 20 years later. Some of them dead.
Some of them died.
Some of them were executed, and their families reap the benefits of the wrongful execution. So you got a team of our oppressor, right? They say, okay, we know these black men wasn't really guilty, so let's examine the evidence on all of these cases and do what? Retry it again. They use all of their resources to retry it again in hopes that what? The case get overturned, and then the family is due somewhat punitive damages for killing a relative.
So they benefit.
It's a financial benefit. That's the only way that these cases are being overturned. So Commander Giuliani ain't asking for no money though.
It's not.
See what I'm saying?
It's not.
He ain't going and trying to get no money from the courts. His only interest is to make sure that your felony come off your record, so you can do what? Obtain housing, get you a job, get your gun rights restored, and even get you a woman, because your women nowadays don't want no man with felonies.
TLC said they don't want no scrubs.
Man, come on, man. Go ahead, please.
So, sir, and this is the first time is you open my eyes to what you were saying, is that how they benefit off of a wrongfully convicted black man. They leave him in jail 10, 15 years. Yeah. And the reason why I bring this up, because you just said the only thing that you liked about Kim Worthy is that she got Nevers and what's her name put in jail.
She convicted them police.
She convicted them, but what her ass, she ended up going back and got Stanford, the young man Stanford, the 14-year-old that they said that had unalived 4 people in a hit in the drug house. Come to find out, it was a professional hitman that killed him.
Oh, she got him exonerated?
No, she put him in jail knowing that he didn't do it 2 weeks.
Well, that's what I said. That's the only reason why I liked her, because of that. She put the police in jail. Mm-hmm. She done a whole host of other atrocities, in my opinion. But so go back to what you was just reading about.
Sir. It says the case is remembered for its civil rights implications, and because it involved 2 death row inmates who were later exonerated. The prosecutors deliberately tampered with evidence, and the men were sentenced to death by an all-white jury. Freddie Lee Pitts and Wilbert Lee, the defendants, were in prison for 12 years before being pardoned by the.
Give me the Ford Heights 4. Heights 4. Go ahead, Slocky. Yep. Ford Heights 4. Go ahead.
Okay. It says before being pardoned by then Florida Governor Reuben Askew on September 20th, 1975. So I noticed that in a lot of these cases, sir, that when these men are released from prison, they get a supplements of a meal and upwards sometimes, majority of the time.
Yeah, they probably like if you sitting in the penitentiary and you've been in there 10, 15, 20 years, man, it's like ramen noodles is good for you. You know what I'm saying? Like I've seen some of these brothers get out after 25 years and they just like any good Christian. Oh, I forgive you. What? Oh, I forgive you. I know she was suffering too. Like it was one brother recently that she was on a talk show crying about. You got to find this one for me, man. You got to find this one. Let's put this one up on the screen. It was on one of the talk shows where a white woman had accused a black man of raping her, and years later she confessed that it never happened. And the talk show host had both of them come to his studio, and they played this out, man, for everybody to see. She crying like a big dog and all emotional and and just so teary-eyed. And this brother, I'm like, I know he about to give her the business, but he turns around and is like, I forgive you. Like he's some damn good Christian. I mean, undoubtedly he was a good Christian. But man, oh man, you spent 20-some years in penitentiary, man, and you gonna forget a person that put you in there wrongfully. That's some nigga shit right there, Salaki. That is some classical nigger shit, man. Some slave nigga shit right there. Because I want your arm or something. You got to give me your arm to make this right. I need the whole arm from the elbow. I don't think that's him. This was another brother. This brother was
Brandon Jean, Amber Auger. No, I think that was the cop. Yeah, I got the wrong one, sir.
You said no. You want 20 years? I want an appendage. You know what I'm saying? I need something, some skin or something.
I got the Ford Heights 4 for you too.
Give me
sir.
that real quick.
The Ford Heights 4, Bernio Jimerson, Dennis Williams, Kenneth Adams, and Willie Range were formerly imprisoned convicts who were falsely accused and convicted of the double murder of Lawrence Lionberg and Carol Shamal in Ford Heights, Illinois, and later exonerated.
Go ahead, please.
Jimerson and Williams were sentenced to death, Adams to 75 years in prison, and Range to life, following the murder in 1978. The four spent almost.
Is that the one? I think he is the host. Dr. Phil might have been the host.
I think this is it, sir. Yeah, I think this is the one.
Go ahead, Hadawat.
The four spent almost 2 decades in prison before being released in 1996. This miscarriage of justice was due to false forensic testimony, coercion of a prosecution witness, perjury by another witness who had an incentive to lie, and prosecution and police misconduct. The DNA evidence uncovered.
Think about how many people that you trust to do the right thing involved in this disparity right here of justice. All these people he named were cohorts in wrongly convicting his brother right here. Go ahead.
The DNA evidence uncovered in the investigation to clear their names eventually led to the arrest and conviction of the real killers.
Mm-hmm. You see that? Eventually led to the arrest. Like for some reason, it seemed like I alluded to at the beginning of the show, is that they're more satisfied with just convicting any brother than getting the real killer.
That's right.
They just want to put a black man behind bars, man. Any black man. If they can't find the right one, let's pick one. And that's crazy right there, man. I mean, that's evil, I should say. Not crazy. That's evil and diabolical, man. And of the devil. and exactly what the scripture said it is. Go ahead. Let me get this one, Dr. Phil. This one right here blew my mind.
Come on, sir.
Eyewitness accounts and their reliability. Now, Dean was falsely convicted of raping Loretta. We've been talking today about eyewitness accounts and their reliability. Now, Dean was falsely convicted of raping Loretta when she was just 15 years old. He spent 14 years in prison for this crime and was exonerated by DNA in 2008. Now, Loretta now...
Stop. It wasn't that she came forward and said, oh, it wasn't him. It wasn't him. I lied. It was because a group of lawyers did what? Like I just told you. Got together and saw some money potential and examined the DNA evidence. That's how he got off. Because some entrepreneurs in the legal system said we could make a business out of going and examining all of the DNA evidence associated with rape and murder. And those that have been wrongly convicted, guess what? After we exonerate them, we can do what then? Sue the municipalities that convicted them and get millions of dollars. Go ahead.
So, sir, they wouldn't have never went if it was just been on the strength of this. Commander General Yohana helps black people just on the strength of you black folk.
That's my point.
That you black folk. These people are looking for some financial compensation.
That's right.
Right. What's her name? Is it Kim Kardashian? One of them Kardashians is doing the same thing with some they're going out helping free and people who've been wrongfully convicted.
But guess what? They're using her name in order to get these people to sign up.
Come on.
But she ain't doing it for free.
Oh no, she's not.
What they're asking for is a third or a fourth or half of whatever you might get if they free you from penitentiary.
And you know,
unlike Commander General Yohana, you see my point? He's not asking for any compensation. You see, which is the wickedness in the system. The system says in order for us to re-examine this evidence, we got to have a team of entrepreneurs to come and examine the evidence after you've been convicted. And then these entrepreneurs spend their money in looking at this evidence and putting it under that DNA microscope. And then they're like, oh no, he wasn't there. It wasn't him. So let's get him out of the penitentiary. He's gonna sign whatever paperwork they give him.
Yes.
For half of whatever he might get in order to come out the penitentiary. So it's a business. It's not a humanitarian aid or effort on the part of our oppressor. Go ahead.
So, sir, what's so heavy about what you're saying, and Commander General Yohana, I watched a video of him. He's saying, "Don't compare me to Christ." But when Christ rose Lazarus from the dead, I don't remember Lazarus thanking Christ. Right? I don't remember. I have to go back and read it again, but I don't remember Lazarus thanking Christ. Commander General Yohana isn't even asking for a thank you. He just want to do it because your brother wrongfully convicted and you getting out.
That's correct. He wants brothers to be free because the Bible explicitly says that the devil shall cast some of you in prison.
Yes.
Be not dismayed. Right? That's what the scripture says. So we know it's going to be a great deal of us sitting in the penitentiary that were not guilty of those crimes. And he know that it's going to take individuals like us that's not asking for any compensation to help brothers at least rid themselves of those crimes that they were convicted of, that they may or may not have committed. That's over 5-6 years ago. Let's get back into that article.
Understands that Dean is not her rapist and bravely came today to talk with Dean. What do you hope for this man going forward? What would you hope would be in Dean's life going forward?
That he can get relationships with his kids again.
No.
Can you tell
that
him?
He can forgive me.
Can you tell him instead of me?
I hope you can get relationships with your sons again.
No, his sons is on the way to the penitentiary.
This whole chain of events
Look at that smile on
was
it.
set in play by what happened in that alley that day. You didn't ask for that. You didn't ask for that. This was all set in motion by somebody that isn't here. I want to try to find this person that's out there, because they're out there. And this DNA is going to match up somewhere, somehow. They're going to find this person if he's still.
If I may, sir.
Please.
With DNA can tell if you woman, male, man, black, white, Native American, anything, right? And the thing about some of the cases that we've looked at today, every single one of them, it took DNA evidence to get these people exonerated from these crimes.
That's correct.
Okay, because I say that because
she sat on the jury and pointed him out as
Colonel
the
Khan.
rapist. She sat up there in the jury and on a stand and pointed that brother out. That's why he got convicted.
And with the Central Park Five, sir, she said, I don't know which one of these people did anything to me. I was unconscious. At least that woman was honest, but it was the state that took over the crime and went after those young boys. This right here, she pointed him out.
That's correct.
Still alive, and he may not be. Given his activities, somebody may have killed him. And so then we won't know. But if he's out there doing crimes, they're going to catch him and they're going to match it up. And I want you two to work together. You know, as Jennifer just said, she's there with Ronald Cotton right now. And I hope that y'all can do that. Daniel Tweeten is Dean's attorney, and he's with us today. I mean, where are you, Dean?
Right
there you are. What I'm saying is I hope everybody works together to try to bring as much justice here as we can possibly get.
And we have the same exact interest. We certainly respect Loretta's privacy, and we don't want to unduly upset her, and we want to make this as easy for everyone as possible. And we are pursuing a lawsuit so that to the extent Dean's constitutional rights were violated.
So, sir, this was his original attorney in the case. Now, the brother did 14 years because this guy didn't do his goddamn job.
Right.
And look what he's saying now. The Bible,
the court-appointed lawyers, man, they getting paid no matter what, the same amount of money for every case that come through there. And the more that they can do in a day, the better they take home to their family.
Come on.
So they ain't examining the evidence or nothing like that. They just pushing you through the system.
Please.
That's it.
By the police and the investigators in this case, he can receive justice, and we want to make that as smooth of a process and cooperative of a process as possible.
Well, I hope you two can help each other moving forward in this. Really,
It's always
I hope
like
you can
that,
really
man,
help
when
each other.
your brother is
And
spared.
you're willing to do that, right?
It's always like where is the rage? Where's the outrage? 14 years of that man's life. Who pissed off? He can't even be pissed off. Look at him sitting up there, man, all, calm, cool, and collected. You just spent 14, 15 years in the penitentiary. Who pissed off for that brother, man?
You know what's so happy about that, sir? If it's a term called double jeopardy, and with double jeopardy, just say I go out and it's say that I'll unalive this person.
I know it very well.
But you know what I'm saying? That so if I go back and if I do my time and get out, or get out somehow, and then come to find out this person's still alive, I want to go unalive him. I done went to jail for you.
Tom,
I want to
you've done your time
You know what I'm
already.
saying? This brother sitting up here like I should have. I ain't saying he need to, but I know he thinking in the back of his head like I should have.
No,
no,
he ain't thinking
you know what?
that.
It's a good thing he didn't because he got out.
He ain't thinking that, but I get your point. Like man, what it's like, what can make that right? You know what I'm saying? What can make 14 years of your life where your sons is on their way to the penitentiary now because you was absent out of their life? They not good. They're not doing good in school. They misbehaving.
Or one of them homosexual.
Yeah, or they don't have no structure, man. You know what I mean? What could make that right? How much money can you give me to compensate for that?
Off with her head.
Like she should be in jail, man. She should be in jail, and the prosecutor and the judge also should be in goddamn jail.
False report of a felony.
Say again.
The felony.
Yeah, they should be in jail, man. Keep going. We got 5 minutes. We got
anything you want to say?
Real quick.
We talked about it last night, and
Is her man?
I think it'll take some time, but she's coming to understanding of what the DNA evidence means, and hopefully in time they will be able to work together. But to give it a minute.
You know that means she live in the black community.
I don't know if that's her.
And what's your occupation?
I am a police officer.
Seriously, I really hope y'all can work together and stay in touch with one another. And I think it'll really help you to heal. And I think it's a good thing for both of you. And I'm so proud that you came out and did this today. And I'm so proud of your attitude about this whole thing. So I think this is going to go a long way to.
She is not the victim in this.
Last thing you want to say to her?
I hope you get closure, and I hope we can find the person who did this.
He hopes she gets closure.
Can you help me?
And we can help each other.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
Black man always got to pick the high road, man.
Do you have a story or?
Go ahead and stop that, Ox. Lucky. That right there, man, just got me when I saw it. You know what I'm saying? But that right there proves that, like in this world right here, man, Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian brothers and sisters out there, man, that's been convicted of these crimes, need to contact Commander General Yohana and Israelite School of UPK so we can help you restore your dignity, man. You should be able to protect yourself in these days right now, man. You know what I mean? Given what's going on in society, every brother should have the right to protect himself and protect his family. The only way to do that legally is to have your crime expunged, to have your crime pardoned, or to be restored of your gun rights, man, which is a right of every American citizen. So with that said, man, we are the Israelite School of UPK under Commander General Yohana. We started in 1969 out of 1 West 125th Street. And if you give us a call at 586-382-0569, we will definitely help you restore your dignity and your rights and bring you to full citizenship, which will enable you to protect your family and be a outstanding pillar in the community, man. Enough with the, going through life believing that felony from 5 or 10 years ago just gonna stick with you throughout your life, man. This is a new day and age right now, and you got a lot of Black men out here under this organization that's advocates for you. You know, some of us got degrees. We're in the legal system. We got a couple of lawyers in our institution. Man, get with the Israelite School of UPK, and we're gonna help you rid yourself of all of those felonies. With that said, I'm gonna call Priest and Officer Abawan for the reading of the security announcement. Shalom, Israel.
Clap it up.
Do me a favor, zoom down the camera out just a little bit. Right here on this side, right here, on top. Zoom it back, down, right there. The arrows, sir. Right on the second landing. On the second landing, down one. Second landing. Yep, zoom it back. All right, watch now. We are the ISUPK, 1 West, Harlem, New York. Rules for new brother and sister. When a new brother or sister comes into the class, into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to share themselves to the word. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to the brother or sister. There is another 6 months which the brother and sister will court each other. After this 6 months, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is the commandment, Numbers 18-21, Malachi 3-8 through 10, means Ma'ashar means a tenth in the Hebrew, 10% of every penny increase the Lord gives you, give to the treasury department or priest or teacher. Priest fund, which is a free will offering, not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you would like to give. Upcoming holy convocations, we have the Sabbath each Sabbath, and we have the Memorial of the Lord in September 21st is the memorial of the blowing of the trumpets. If anyone wants to become a trooper in the school, he must start wearing all black boots, shirt, pants, headband, and scarf. With that being said, men of Israel Madra, we would like to give a courtesy salute to the teacher, Amajim Shabbat, Amajim, Barak, Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shah, Barak Atah, Rajmatah. Dismiss.
Hey, listen, brothers and sisters, man. If you like what you hear, hit the subscribe button, man. Subscribe to this channel. And also, please, go to isubk.com and pay your tithe. Drop me some cash so we can move around this planet like we need to, man, and do the things we need to do.
They're one West. They're one West. They're one West.